everybody, it's Claudia. So as you can see by the title below down there, I have a bit of a different video for you guys today. It's a video I've never done before. It is a St. Patrick's plan with me in my Erin Condren life planner. I'm very excited about this video because I'm obsessed with watching planner videos. When I got my Erin Condren, as I talked about in my Erin Condren unboxing video, I am a huge sticker fan, and watching people decorate their planners with stickers was like what I'm kind of all about. So when I got that planner and started planning, I really wanted it to be a bit of a scrapbooky slash stickery slash kind of just all-encompassing all the creative planner arts. And there's a huge planner phenomenon in the scrapbooking industry as well. I've really been sticking from the scrapbooking side of things with like washi tape, a couple stickers, and stamping, which I'm just starting to get into. And I knew I also wanted to use Etsy stickers. There's a ton of amazing shops on Etsy. As you guys know, I am from Canada, and so shipping and prices for stickers are kind of ridiculous and crazy. I did go a little bit crazy when I got my first Erin Condren planner. This is my new planner. This is my vertical. This is the vertical layout. But as you can see, this is January, and this was my January colors. So pink and purple, which mostly ended up just translating into pink. So that was really frustrating because it was trying to buy stickers and find stickers that were pink and that matched, and no one was selling pink stickers because everyone was selling blue and orange stickers, which worked out kind of nicely for me in February because while everyone was selling pink stickers, I had already obviously used all my pink stickers, and so this blue and orange that was in the January colors worked out really, really well for me. So this is an example of my February spread from my hourly layout, which I did really love, but it was a little bit frustrating because as you guys can see up here at the top, I ended up having to cover up a lot of the actual planning space because on Saturdays I tend to sleep in, and so I was constantly having to try and figure out how to cover up all the way to around noon. Woke up. It was really frustrating for me. I was not loving it. It was just kind of not really working for me. So I did end up getting a new planner. So I'll show you guys some of the examples of spreads that I've done in there because I did want to scrapbook my planner a little bit as well. I didn't end up going back when I got my planner in March and go and kind of put in some important dates on January and then do the same for February with some washi and stuff. So I'm really happy with the way they turned out. Again, a little disappointed that I didn't have this all through the whole year, but whatever, we move on. So this is currently what my March spread looks like. I added some washi and some letters for February in that last day, and then I've gone into April with the April colors and the February colors to kind of bring in that little bit of pretty change, I guess. And then I've marked off all of my weekends with a different color washi tape, which leads me into the whole plan with me. This is my last week, and then this is the current week. And as I was saying, stickers on Etsy to ship to Canada and to buy in Canadian dollars right now is quite expensive. I have bought stickers from the Etsy shops. You only get kind of 1 week of everything, which is how most people design their kits. This is another kit from the actual Glam Planner shop, and again, it's designed for 1 week. So you have 1 weekend banner, 1 set of to-dos and todays, which I counted them, and you don't even have enough if you just put 1 on every other day of the month. Same thing with the do these. I see everyone who does their planners, they put like, they'll put all of these on the top row, and for me, that's not a reality monetary wise slash I don't want to put a checkbox sticker on every week and then if I only do one thing that day, use up a whole sticker for kind of no reason. I've been using these stickers. I have a couple from the Whimsical Plan shop and a couple from Glam Planner. So again, I'll show you my last week. Like I was saying, I have a full finished checkbox here, checkbox here, checkbox here. I ended up cutting up one of the triangle little flags with the triangle checkboxes, and I don't stack my TVs. That would be almost my whole sheet of TVs. So I put down 1, say what times I watched from, and then write down all my shows underneath, unless I just watched 1 TV show that day, and then I'll just put it on there. But that's one of the things that I've been kind of sad about with planning, is that with the money and how expensive it is and blah blah blah, I don't really want to waste my stickers, and I think I plan a little bit differently than other people. So with that being said, I ended up buying the St. Patrick's Day printable kit from the Glam Planner printable shop. I ended up buying full sheet labels. So they're not glossy, which I'm a little bit sad about. This was literally all my staples had. That's the nice thing about buying from a printable shop, is that you can literally print them as many times as you want. So if you're like me, this might be a great alternative. So like I said, this is my first time kind of testing it out. I did cut up one of the weekend banners from my previous sheet, but without further ado, I've totally been rambling, but I hope that gave you guys a little bit of information on the whole sticker planning situation. So let us get into planning and cutting up the stickers. And the 2 types of scissors I have little baby, it might be sewing scissors, I'm not actually sure what they're called, but they are little little, which is great for getting around corners and in tight edges, and then I do have these non-stick scissors for cutting up bigger pieces. And I'm kind of a stickler for straight lines. It doesn't bother me too much. If you are a real stickler for that, you can always use a Fiskars paper trimmer, I guess. And I guess I'll just start cutting these up. So I'd love to know in the comments what your guys' thoughts on the whole planner thing is, if you guys want me to do more of these types of videos. And then you get a straight line. I'm gonna start by cutting up the check boxes. So like I said, I've been pretty stingy with my check boxes because I only ever buy one set. And so I'm not able to use a check box every day kind of as I please, willy-nilly. Buying from these printable shops is actually really nice because you can reprint as many times as you want for free. You spend the $5 and you can reprint it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times if you want, which is really nice, cost effective, and you can use check boxes without having to worry about, oh hey, you're gonna run out of them for the month. And that's really a big plus for buying from the printable shop, is even though you don't get it already cut up for you and it's maybe not as simple as just buying it and having it shipped to you, you can reprint it as many times as you want. And I do find it pretty easy to cut along a straight line, I think. So I've just learned about myself that I'm not a very good talker and cutter at the same time. I'm gonna cut up the rest of these boxes and I think the rest of the sheets, and then I'll come back and show you what I have. Okay, I guess that's a con though for these planner printable sheets, is that you do have to cut them up, which is a little bit more time consuming. On that same note though, you do wait for up to 2 weeks. Pro and con at the same time. As I said, I can't talk to you guys and cut. Now I'm talking and cutting, and that is a touch time consuming. This will probably take me about 10-15 minutes to cut all these. Maybe? I don't know. Depends on what you're cutting with, I guess. I always wait around 1 to 2 weeks for my stickers, depending on how fast the shop is. I highly recommend doing this with a cutter. This is so much easier than what I was doing before. I would love to know if you guys want more of these videos, and if you like me getting from the printable shop, or if you think I should do a layout with the bought stickers. The weekend is gonna have to be cut out by hand. So I'm cutting off all the white first because I think it's easiest to work with a bigger piece of paper than with littler pieces of paper. And I did find that this sheet printed kind of funny. I don't know if you can kind of see it in here. There's some kind of funky things going on. So I don't know if that was my printer. Mine did kind of print a little bit weird, which doesn't really bother me. These ones may have to be by hand. So I'm gonna cut them in their sections, and if I need to cut them out, then I'll just cut them apart. Because I noticed a lot of people's printable stores just sell like specialty kits like St. Patrick's Day. The monthly kit for April from the Glam Planner shop was super pretty, but it's not on the printable shop, so that is a downside of some of these printable shops, that you maybe cannot always get the kit that they're selling for that month, and that would be like amazing. I would love to have the April kit, because like I said, then I can just print off as many check boxes as I want. Oh, that was not straight at all. It was a really bad job. All right, so I now have all of my stickers besides these little ones cut up. I am actually not a huge fan of the completely colored in decorated spreads, to be honest. So if you're like me and it's kind of nice because you can play around with where the stickers actually go. I don't know if my printer wasn't the right size or if I had it sized wrong or something, but those don't completely fit. They're just a little bit short. I do not like a completely colored in spread. I don't like when everything's completely covered up and there's no space, white space, blank space, I guess. I'm excited to have a checkbox every single day of the week. I've never used that before, so. And so you couldn't do this if you had stickers with sticky backs on them. Well, I definitely want to use this one for the start of the week. Welcome. I do like to write on my bottom page, but it's normally with stickies, so I guess if we need to add some stuff, we can. So you do get 7 today stickers. So I'm gonna cut up these today stickers and line them on the top. Okay, so I did forget about my weekend banner. The todays are all placed up here. I really like planning my food and writing in my food in this top box and then writing down what I did for the day. I use my planner more as a remembrance than a planner, if that makes sense. I have most of my stuff, what I need to do, on my calendar in my office. But at the end of the day, I like to write in what I did that day as kind of a remembrance keeper, because I also find when I was planning out what I needed to do the next day, it really frustrated me if I didn't get all the things I needed to do done. Sometimes I like to bite off a bit more than I can chew, and so it bothered me having to cross stuff out and put canceled and all that kind of stuff. I was not a huge fan of pre-planning in my planner. This weekend is probably the most intensive thing to cut out. That goes right there. That guy there. I actually might do that. I kind of think that's cute. You know what? I think this is what I'm gonna do. I'm and do a rainbow on Sunday. Really like that. And then I'm going to cut up my littles. And those I do like to place at the end of the day. Okay, I've been cutting the littles with these little scissors, and I'm wondering if that's a dumb idea because I don't think I'm getting as clean a cut as I would with a big one. Yeah, that was silly. I'm really liking how this is turning out, so I think I'm gonna stick all these down now. I'll show you the first day and then I'll do the rest off camera because I don't want to bore you guys. But I will admit this is one of my favorite parts of watching people do this. And I'd love to see people's behind the setups of how they do this because I'm struggling a little bit. Okay, freaking love the rainbows. I'd buy a whole sheet of rainbows. Well, I have a whole sheet of rainbows if I want. I can just keep printing and printing and printing. That's what this first half of the week looks like. To place your weekend banner evenly, the K goes in the middle. So I think that's all I'm going to do for my printed stickers. I still have my littles and stuff to add in, but to be honest, I think I'm going to wait because like I said, I really do like to plan after my day has happened. So if you guys want to see a finished version of my spread with all of these little stickers, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Claudia. I will post a finished version of this if you guys want to see one, because I'm going to add a little bit of gold washi into this spread. With some washi tapes, they come off and you have to stick them down right away. So it makes cutting and stuff a little bit more harder. So I really do like the ones with the tape. And the best part about these is I'm going to do gold on the top of all of it. So I'm gonna cut it, hopefully as straight as possible. And then I'm going to cut it down the middle as well. And that way it should fit pretty close in the box up here. And with these non-sticky washi tapes, you can lay them literally right over each other and cut. I also really like the sparkliness. Feels very St. Patrick's Day appropriate. So next thing I'm going to do is decorate this little thankful thought. But I pre-cut another piece of washi tape. And I'm going to take this and cover it up right kind of halfway over that thankful thought. Because I had an extra piece of this gold, I'm actually going to cut a little flag into it by just cutting in through the corners there. And you got a cute little flag. And I'm going to layer that and really cut up that, or cover up that thankful thought. I really actually wish they had a small calendar up here of the month. That would be amazing. They used to. I don't know why they took that out, but they did. And then I have this little St. Patrick's sticker from a planner kit that I bought at Michael's. And I'm going to just put that right in there. And with this stamp for this week, I'm going to be alternating between this really, really pretty shimmery gold, and then I'm going to do this lime green color as well. So you stamp it on and wipe it off. This block is also really nice because you can see exactly where it's gonna go. You just put that there and it's really, really cute. And then now I'm switching to the green, pressing it down. Yay! I really am not a big fan of that. That's too bad. Well, I may have to cover that up with some washi. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can make it cute again. Okay, so I've taken another piece of washi. I'm going to just cover that up. So I'm gonna take these sparkly black letters, 14th to the 20th. I think that's going to be it for this spread. I hope you guys enjoyed this plan with me. Like I said, make sure to follow me on Instagram to see pictures and this completely filled out. And I hope you have a very safe and fun St. Patrick's Day. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you like these plan with me videos, please leave me a comment down below because I would love to know. I really enjoyed this, so if you guys like it, maybe I'll do this once a month or something. And make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. The button is right down there, and follow me, like I said, on social media so you can keep up with what I'm doing and to see planner pictures and makeup pictures and all that kind of fun stuff. So I will see you with my face in my next video. Bye guys. I'm going to be telling you all about my experience working for MAC Cosmetics, and I'm going to give